Hi everyone, this is Bisha from Made Up Me Search, and today we have another investigation. Yesterday, I decided to check the ROSSMANN website because they do have an online store where you can check what is the most sold product in every category, just to see what people think and what are the best things according to their customers that I have in my collection. So I have them all right here in front of me, and let's try them out. As usual, I'm gonna start with my base. We have a not so surprising first, which is the Catrice Aqua Splash Grip Primer. This is a wonderful primer. It's hydrating, it's gripping, and I feel like people with many different skin types can use this and benefit from it. I did also use it last summer when I did my friend's wedding makeup, and everything lasted so beautifully. So yeah, I would recommend it definitely if you are a fan of a little bit more sticky but still hydrating primers. Now for the foundation, I have the SuperStay Lumimatte foundation, which is like one of the newer SuperStay foundations from Maybelline. I gotta say I did quite like this one when I was using it, but I haven't used it in a while now, so we will see how it's gonna look. I have the shade 98, and it is supposed to be a very long-lasting foundation that is not super matte, hence the name Lumimatte. I honestly don't remember how much to use, so I'll just put on a bit and we will see. I do remember liking the finish of this a lot because it did remind me of the the NARS Longwear Radiant Foundation, was it called? I can see why people like this. This is one of those like higher coverage, buildable, but still skin-like looking foundations. I feel like these have been like really popular in the past years, so this is definitely not a surprising one. And also I feel like the SuperStay range from Maybelline does have like a really good name among people. So that's another plus. It's not looking bad at all. I quite like this. The finish of it is not the most lightweight though, so like you can definitely feel it on your skin. Okay. For my concealer, I have the Maybelline Eraser Multi-Use Concealer. I have the shade 0. This is like one of the most classic concealers just ever. I feel like everyone who ever watched beauty YouTube has owned this concealer. Mine is a bit old, but hopefully it's gonna be fine. It is a lightweight, pretty decent coverage concealer, and I feel like people have been really liking it as like a very reliable but quite a lightweight concealer. And I gotta say, like, yeah, I went through a few of these. It is a nice concealer though, but I do hate the sponge. Like, it gets so dirty and gross. It is really nice. You can see it did cover my under eye bags pretty reliably. So let's continue. The most popular bronzer, and I'm not really surprised by this one, is the Essence Baby Got Bronze in Cinnamon Spice. This is their gel stick bronzer. This is a wonderful product. It is very lightweight because it's gel. It doesn't have that like super creamy consistency and heaviness, but it's not patchy at all. And it gives you such a nice sun-kissed look without feeling or looking too heavy. I may have put on a bit too much there. Also, it smells like watermelon, which is one of my favorite features of it. I think of summer every time I smell this bronzer. We're gonna be a bit bronzier than I expected today, but that's fine. It is interesting to me though that people are like really into cream products still. Even the blush and the highlighter we have today are cream products. This is a gorgeous bronzer even when I over applied a little bit. Then for the blush, I have the Baby Got Blush liquid blusher with a little cushion at the end. I have the one in the shade Dusty Rose. There was a different one that was like the most sold one, but it was also a pink one, so I thought might as well just go for it. The shade is really, really pretty. I'm just going to dab a little bit on. I don't want to go overboard because these blushes can be really intense. And blend it in. You can see it's a really pigmented blush. A little goes a very long way, and it's really nice and smooth and a tiny bit glowy. Again, not surprised it's a bestseller at all. They have been selling it for so long, and I think for a good reason, because This is a wonderful blush formula, and even the applicator I think can be quite handy. All I need now is some powder. I actually have two products. The first one was in the highlighter category, but I feel like it's kind of fair to include it as well because it's like on the fence. And it's the Catrice Under Eye Brightener Setting Powder. It is their brightening setting powder in the shade Light Rose. It was kind of like a reaction to all these like cherry tinted under eye pink powders, but this one did seem a little bit more wearable, a little bit more like thought through to me. So we're gonna come back to it once again. It is not as pink as the other powders usually tend to be. I'm gonna blend out the concealer and set it. And there we go. So I do feel like it's not super brightening on myself because I'm pretty pale. So I do quite like the formula. I just don't love it on me in this shade in particular. I feel like it does kind of emphasize my texture a little bit. So not my favorite, but glad to see that many people enjoyed it. Now for my face powder, I'm going to use the Rimmel Stay Matte again. This one just stands unbeatable in every single drugstore, which is so interesting to me because I don't even think it's that versatile. It's such a matte powder. All right, so we're nicely powdered. Now let's go to the brows. There was also like a pretty clear winner when it comes to an eyebrow pencil, and that is the Catrice Slimmatic Ultra Precise Brow Pencil, which I do happen to have because I love it, and it is my favorite brow pencil. So I'm gonna use it to just fluff up my brows and fill them in a tiny bit. This is like the last bit of it, but that's fine. The only downside of this pencil is that you don't get that much of product and it's very creamy, so you do go through these pretty quickly. I still love it and I would still definitely recommend it. And then for the brow gel, there were quite a few that I didn't have, but then I found the Maybelline SuperLock, which I do actually really like. It is such a nice brow gel. It is clear, it is pretty hard hold, it's not overly wet. You have a really nice dual-sided brush where you can pick between longer and shorter bristles depending on what kind of product distribution you want. Very, very good brow gel, would recommend it. I was quite surprised when it comes to the eyeshadows because I actually quite agreed for once. And again, there was like a million neutral palettes that I don't have. However, there was one that I certainly do have and love. And it was the Catrice Diamond Treasures Duo in the shade Hazel Spark. My favorite one, the brown one. Absolutely stunning. So I'm super happy to be using this for a look again. But it's still like one of my favorite palettes for traveling, because it's just so easy to use. So if you never saw these, you have a cream eyeshadow here, which is matte, which is actually very easy to blend and work with, and you also don't have to be worried about the wear time because these wear beautifully. So I'm just gonna quickly define the eye shape a tiny bit. Those are really easy to use despite being cream, and also I just feel like they're so subtle and like just enough there to make you look like a little bit, you know, more defined, a little bit like you put in some effort. And then I'm going to go in with a shimmer, which is a powder. This is more like a, I don't know how to even call it, like gel to powder formula. It is a very gorgeous, creamy and glittery shimmer. It's just been abused and used for a really long time, so I really have to dig in. Look at that sparkle. It's just for the sparkle alone, these are so worth it. And this basically gives you like a full look. Like that's all. It's gorgeous. It's sparkly. It's defined. It's simple. Big fan of those. Big fan. Next, I'm going to take an eye pencil. The most sold eye pencil was this Essence Kyle eyeliner, which I'm so surprised by. I had this like basically by accident. I had it in an advent calendar years ago. So we're going to use this to tightline probably. And also put it on my lower lash line. I'm still new to tightlining, so I'm like never sure if I do it right. I'm getting there because I really like the way it looks. Whew. Okay. So I did a little bit of tight lining. I don't want to do like a full-on wing or like an actual liner because I don't think this look really needs it. I'm going to take a little bit of the creamy eyeshadow and I'm going to run it under my lower lash line. And that's the eye look basically done. Now for the mascara, the most sold mascara that I still have, which I do not like, as you may know, is the L'Oreal Paradise Big Deal Mascara. I really don't like this mascara. I just don't think it lasts on me. I don't really like the brush. There are so many better mascaras. Why do people have to buy this? Also, it's like not the cheapest, so I'm always just stunned when people spend quite a lot of money, in my opinion, on very subpar mascaras. Well, I did too anyway, but you know. Like, it doesn't look bad, but I just know it's not gonna last. That's the worst thing about it. This eye is looking like pretty insane. But I know this won't last, so I'm not super excited about it. I guess I kind of see why people like it. If it lasts on you, sure, like the effect is not bad. But I know it doesn't last on me, so... We're missing a highlighter. And the most sold highlighter, to my great surprise, was the Catrice Soft Glam Filter Fluid. This is like their Charlotte Tilbury, you know, Hollywood filter dupe. And I don't know, man. It comes in a packaging like this. I think I'm gonna apply it for my hand. I just don't think this is a very good highlighting product. But you know, I'm gonna do my best to make it look good. It's just very subtle and creamy and not really the kind of highlight I like. Also, mind you, like, I have a ring light right there. In real life, this is like barely doing anything. Yeah, like on my hand, it is looking pretty nice, but I feel like on the makeup, it's just not, you know, not the kind of highlight I would go for. I'm going to put the shimmer from the palette in my inner corners, so they're like actually brightened at least a little bit. And now for the lips, I do have two Essence products. The first one I was kind of surprised by. This is the Essence, what are you? This is the Essence Line and Stay Tattoo Liner in the shade Everyone's Nude Pink. I do love these. They're like a marker that is staining your lips. So I'm going to use this probably like on the inner rim of my lip just to create like a little ombre effect. I do prefer their other two shades, but the formula of these is really nice. And then we have the Essence Gloss Bomb, but not just any. We have the Birthday Balm, which is probably my least favorite. I hate the scent of this one. It's like leaking on the side. I'll have to like figure that out. I actually do quite like the formula of these. I think these are really nice. But this one in particular, I don't really like the scent. And as you can see, it's leaking everywhere. So I'm just going to get rid of it. But this is the finished look. So what do we think? I feel like there's a clear trend in the products. People love a good affordable option. People are not afraid to invest more in foundations and mascaras for some reason. And also, cream products are on a great rise, which is interesting in my opinion, but you know what, to each their own. Overall, I don't really hate any of these products except for the mascara. I don't really like the mascara. But the rest of the products I feel like were pretty okay, like things that I normally would use, except for the highlighter. Like, people have to tell me why they love this so much, because I wasn't blown away by it when I got it, and I'm still not. And I tried using it in many different ways, and I just wasn't super into it. So let me know, are you using this glowy thingy, and how and why do you like it? Please, sign down below. That is everything for today. Thank you very much for watching. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. And I will see you on the next one. Bye!